Hello, welcome to Freeform Talk, folks, the IEL talk show with me, the token Wetlander, and all the consensual stabbing you should have. Sorry, I missed a trick there. I have earned toe already. So, how is everyone doing?
It was a boring week. Nothing happened.
No, I thought so. Bain&Chiad?
Super boring. Not tired at all. Just like slept a perfect 8 hours every night.
Oh, I'm sure.
Average week.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we have a guest with us this week. Welcome, Brian the Gleeman.
Hello, hello.
Hello. How are you, sir?
I am definitely not tired, and definitely having a good time with my mustache there.
Excellent. You had a boring week as well, it sounds like, then.
Oh yeah. It wasn't very eventful. Nothing interesting.
Absolutely.
Nothing to report. This will be a very short show.
It is going to be a very short show.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. Like Jessica said, I was saying, thank you, everyone. If you could please consensually stab the like button. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. That would be wonderful. We appreciate you for that. Wait, where's... I feel like I could just, like, stab with the stash. The stash?
Stash stab?
A stash stab.
Yeah, I think that works.
Yeah. I like it. And yes, Hybrid Havoc, we are participating in Movember. So, yes, that's why. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So,
Definitely not anything more interesting than that.
No, not at all. So, but welcome, Brian. This is your first journey out to the Threefold Land.
That's true.
At least this part of it. I'm sure you may have been to other parts, maybe. So,
I have. It's much more comfortable than I thought it would be.
Yeah? The sunburn is
I may regret that statement, but for now.
Well, we do try to make it more comfortable in Purple Rock's Hole than some of the other places in the Waste are. So thank you for saying that. As roof mistress, take personal pleasure in making sure that our guests are very comfortable.
Look, Ma, no hands. I can still do that. I was trying to do that during the week, and it was good fun. All right, folks. There is a poll
sliding over.
Yeah.
It's just mine looks like my lips have been censored.
As they should be.
It's a beep beep beep. You beep and beep.
That sounds like your podcast episode. That's a fun segue, Brian. Tell us about your podcast episode with lots of beeps. Or don't.
Brian?
What was that?
Can you hear us, Brian?
Yeah, I missed it. What?
You can tell us about you did a podcast episode that had a lot of beeping in.
Oh, the beeping? Yeah.
Yeah, the beeping. Yes.
This is when
we
plug
did
yourself.
a lot of beeping back in October. It was very, very fun. Not so much lately. Nothing else to beep right now. But yeah. Beep beep.
Maybe.
So are you going to tell us about Barside Chats at all, or?
Yeah, we can talk about Barside Chats.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was like. Tell us about your podcast.
Oh, you want me to tell you about it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we like the interview that we did that came out yesterday, Tuesday. Great. So I'm gonna take this off.
Goodbye, mustaches.
So in early October, Matt and I interviewed Michael Livingston all about Origins of the Wheel of Time, which hopefully you all have copies. You all have your copies already. Hopefully you've been crying over the first chapter and probably haven't gotten to the second chapter because you got dehydrated. That's what happens when you get this book. But yeah, we interviewed Michael Livingston about this book. In October. Look at
Show off.
Rob. He's got two because we'll tell that story later. But
we'll tell that story later. Yeah,
we'll tell that story later. But we interviewed Michael in October, and we talked all about the books. And part of the interview, we did talk about Nakomi, about the identity of Nakomi, and Michael had this great idea to do a teaser where we bleep out the answer to who Nakomi is. And I do have the raw audio of that, if you would like to, I don't know if I can share it here, but maybe I can send it to you, Rob, and we can play it. But
Yeah,
I do have the
that
raw
would be
audio of Livingston saying it, the thing that we bleeped out, and it was not the actual identity of Nakomi. I said, just start talking and I'll bleep out stuff. And so I will, I'll send that to you in a minute, and maybe we can play it in a little bit. But yeah, we interviewed him, and that episode dropped on Barside Chats on Tuesday at midnight at 12:01 a.m. Eastern time, just in time for the release day. You can go listen to it right now. It is super fun. It's about an hour and a half long. It does contain spoilers, but the spoilers are not too heavy. Like, we don't actually say who Nakomi is, but we do talk about the revelation of Nakomi. So if you haven't gotten that far in the book, you can go listen, and you won't really be spoiled. We do talk about specific sections of the book. But yeah, it was a really great chat. It was really great to get Livingston's perspective on writing the book and how he got to do it, and certain reasons why he included certain sections and not others. Matt and I were very fortunate that we got advanced copies of the book, so we were able to ask questions that nobody else was able to ask in all of the other interviews that happened. And so you can, if you've watched other interviews with Michael Livingston, you should go listen to our podcast, because we do talk about things that are not discussed that he wasn't able to discuss with anybody else. Although anything that was after the release, maybe he talked about those, but we do have some, I guess, exclusive stuff. So it's a great conversation, and Livingston's awesome, and Matt was his normal self on the show. It was great. It was a great podcast. So go check it out.
Excellent. I will find a way to get a link for that in the description. So also, what is this Guy versus Michael thing going on in chat right now?
They're
Is
wondering if Michael charmed you away from Guy while you met him in
I
Charleston.
believe I commented to Jessica on that. I said definitely not. Michael is super charming, but how do you replace Uno? So, and there has been a butt rock mentioned, so let me correct that.
Butt rock.
There we go.
You know, when I was the one who started the butt rock. I'm the one who said butt rock, though, like way back when, right? That was me.
You did?
I don't remember the details, but I just remember it was like a one-off joke, and I didn't really think anybody else got it, and now it's the whole thing. That's really awesome.
I remember you talking about the backstory, like the fossilized version of Land's butt, but I don't remember you actually naming it butt rock.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I did, but I don't remember. I think we were talking about Land and how like buff he was or something like that, and then somebody showed a picture of the rock, and I think I made the joke that it was Land in the 7th Age or something.
Yes, you did say that.
As a fossilized Land butt. So it's great. It's great that it's a cultural icon in the community, you know?
It's there. It lives in the zeitgeist now. So I have the audio, so we can play this. It should be entertaining.
So, Michael, once and for all, who is Nakomi?
Man, so here's the thing. This is gonna shock people. You're gonna be shocked to learn that Nakomi is a football player with a fascinating backstory. The most important fact to remember is that she played for the Detroit Lions in 1989 and gave Barry Sanders a run for his money.
What? No way! That's what this was. Holy!
The whole time.
People are gonna freak out. Oh my gosh!
Oh my god!
So many people are gonna be wrong.
So, Michael, once and for all, who
Oh,
is
it's looping.
Nakomi?
Sorry, yeah.
That's it. It's over.
Yeah.
That
was brilliant.
So that was great. It was we were really laughing, like that was real. We weren't faking the laughter part, but we did fake the oh my god, I can't believe it. That was a lot of fun. And you know, like Livingston is he's just such a fun guy. He's like he's just a happy funny person, great sense of humor. He's always up for something new and fun. And what I like, one of the things I like about him is he just seems, he's like a mushroom. He's like Chanterelle, or I don't know. But he is he doesn't understand what it means to be the author of a Wheel of Time book. He thinks he just wrote a history book. Like, I have a bunch of his history books, and they're good, they're entertaining. But like, you don't have 15 people fly across the country or across the world to go to a history book signing. Like, I don't think it's necessarily clicked for him that he is now an icon in a community. It is more than just being an author. He is now the keeper of secrets. He is the revealer of Nakomi. He is he's in the group of Team Jordan. He's like an honorary Team Jordan member.
He is, yeah.
I don't think he really truly appreciates that, and maybe he does now, but like, at least before Tuesday, he did not appreciate that.
I was going to say, after everything that we did at OgierCon, I hope he's starting to realize this now.
Yeah. I think he was beyond pleased that we came. Like, he was just, I think we made his week. I think we made his day. I think he has never had a book release day like that.
Definitely. I agree.
He got a little, we can tell that story too later, but he was pretty inebriated on Tuesday night. And was like messaging me things like, "You guys are so awesome. You guys are the best. I love you so much." Because he was just so moved by everything that we have done for him in the last couple of weeks and months, and being so supportive of the Origins book. And I think he's responded to a bunch of people on Twitter and elsewhere, where people go like, I'm a huge fan of the Wheel of Time, and he'll respond to like, "I am too. I'm one of you." And yeah, he might be one of us, but he's also something different, right? He's not just a fan anymore. He's part of the magic, and that's I don't think that's quite sunk in, or he's a little bit in denial maybe, and
yeah. I love it. As writes Jessica Sassin, love his post with King Ferdinand, and Noma God's like, and that was before the gin. Also, just want to say
tell that story, Rob.
Yeah, we'll in a second. I want to say thanks, Jessica. Just one more time to say how really grateful I was for all the OgierCon content. For those of us who couldn't make it the trip, much squeegee. So thank you, Jess. And Lawyer's Library, here's a tip for everyone in the Michael Livingston fan club.
Yep.
Thanks, Loyal's Library.
Thank you, guys. It's,
I'm sure King Ferdinand will put that money to good use.
This is true. So so let's dive in. There's not really any news, but we're going to have like a fun Fear the Spear anyway, and then a fun Daily Veil, and then Fear the Spear, and we'll talk about OgierCon and such. So let's get into it, folks.
Brothers and sisters,
it is time to cover up your face,
for the Wheel of Time has news, and we shall dance the spears with it.
This is the Daily Veil.
Welcome back to the Daily Veil, folks. So we're going to kick it off with, which one am I kicking it off with again? Is it Kev?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to kick it off with Kev. Yeah, this is true. Okay, let me get that right page up.
May as well.
All right, we're going to kick it off with Kev. So, Kev Angus, our resident nippler. Oh, wait, wrong music. Oh, you can tell I haven't done a proper week here. So, there we go. Here we go. Has decided to break into Kevazon Studios and bring to Twitter a time the fabled Comic-Con. This is the Mac clip. So I hope you enjoy, folks. We have a bit of a giggle with this. Oh, sorry. I'm just getting a notification in the background. Shit, yeah, we should talk about that. So let's just pop that up there, and let's watch this and have a giggle, folks, because this is just brilliant. It's the volume on? Yes.
Oh, Matchroom, I hope you're dressed this time.
What do you want, bloody Aes Sedai?
Now, that's no way to speak to your betters. Now, let's discuss the dagger once more. Where did you get it from, and where has it gone?
I've told you before, I'm a bad boy who found it outside the city, and I don't know where it's bloody gone off to.
Temper. I guess we've already forgotten that bad boys don't get lunch.
Yes, Aes Sedai.
It's Leandrin Sedai.
Yes, Leandrin Sedai.
Much better. I'll let them know to bring their lunch by. Lucky for you, the persimmons are in season.
Yeah, lucky me.
That's just brilliant. Have you seen that before, Brian?
I've not seen that before. That was the first time. That's incredible.
And do you feel that he's earned much G by breaking into Kevazon Studios there for us, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, I mean that was. I mean, I never expected to see footage so soon.
Right.
I was expecting it to be a couple more months. We talked about this at OgierCon about how long it was taking to see some footage, and there you saw some real stuff right there.
There we go. Yes.
Incredible. Totally believable.
Very.
Yeah.
So this inspired Bodhi to go make his own version of this as well, and then he also went and I think made the Elaine and Egwene clip. Yes, I haven't watched that one yet. I've been saving that one for myself, but that's on Bodhi's YouTube channel, so please go check out that on his YouTube channel. So it's I'm sure it's hilarious. Bodhi is a funny guy. All right, what else did we get? We did get something from the Wheel of Time. They gave us a clip, folks, but it's not as exciting as that sounds right now. So let me bring that up. We got this. It's a little action piece here. I'm going to just mute it because we've listened to this before, and it's like a rolling script with the scene from the show. And this is Egwene and Nynaeve's reuniting in the Hall of the Tower, and this is fun. This is okay, but it's not Kev's tweet, is it?
No.
I don't know what everyone else thinks.
I mean, there's some stage directions in there that I guess is new that we didn't see. But come on, give us some season 2 stuff.
Yeah. See, look, as rightly pointed out there, Kev and Bodhi doing the lights work.
Absolutely.
Oh, hello, lights work.
Do you recognize that, Bain&Chiad?
I do, yeah.
Oh. Well, maybe you'll have to talk about that. So that was that, and then let me continue to switch screens. There was the Twitter of Time Awards, which I'm going to have to find now because I don't have a link for that set up. But we have a two-time. What is the award called?
Wheelie.
Oh yeah, two-time. We have a two-time wheelie, folks. Bain&Chiad, best IE all 2 years in a row.
Thank you.
I'm
How does
really,
that feel?
Really impressed.
You're
what was
really
that, Brian?
impressed?
I said I'm really impressed.
Oh, the Tam jokes.
I'm actually I'm really excited because my old wheelie, I don't know if y'all know, but it lights up like different colors. But I lost the remote control that makes it light up all the different colors. So I'm really excited that I'll be getting another wheelie with the remote control so that I can turn them both on. So I haven't been able to turn this on for a long time.
Nice. That's very cool. So, but yeah, that was on. Let me just.
And then Rob, you also won.
I did. I won Wetlander Humorist. I beat out Kev. Wait. Thank you. Doesn't seem like that should be the case. So yeah, don't. This is not your broken screens, folks. This is, this is the gunpowder plot intro that Alan put together. It was very entertaining. The puppets were doing the red carpet with Tom from Dragon Mount, who got his own puppet, which was just freaking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, I didn't think this Puppet Boys could get any funnier, and then he just added to that and slayed. And then, yeah, we had the
bottom
whole show.
left puppet is just too
realistic.
unrealistic.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, there was like a whole range of winners. We had backstage. Yeah, it was just extremely, extremely entertaining. And there was a bubble of evil in there, but we had fun. We fixed it. So it was a lot of fun, folks. If you haven't checked that out, let me get a link to that, and you can go watch it because it is
really amusing.
Yeah.
And they do play parody songs, some of the parody songs from this year. So you can get, if you haven't listened to the parody songs in a while, you'll get your nice little fix.
Yeah, it's so there's a link in the chat, so you can check that out, folks. It's just so much fun. I enjoyed that. I did that like a hot second before I was like, right now I'm gonna get on a plane and go to America because Bain&Chiad, one of the Lights Work podcast, which you can tell us about as well, do this week, just gone.
We brought a bunch of people to a giant mansion in Charleston, South Carolina, and we hosted OgierCon so that we could all go to the book signing for Origins together, and it was a blast.
It really was a blast. Like, I had an amazing time. Leigh-A, Brian, how was it for you? I mean, Leigh-A, you drove for you mad woman.
Yeah, my travel ended up being just total chaos because I had a stomach ache all last week, and Dean Moxley correctly was like, you should probably try to take a COVID test because COVID's changing. I was like, just stomach aches? But okay, whatever. Like, it'll just come back negative. No, the at home totally came back positive, and I'm like, motherfucker! Canceled my flights, went and got the right proper tests, and then that came back negative, thank goodness. Ended up just renting a car and driving the 8 hours down to which ended up working out really good because and us had rented a car, and then Charisse and her partner drove, so we actually had, with my rental car, we had just enough cars for everyone.
We needed it.
And
yeah.
Brian was actually kind enough because you guys know me, it was a reason I wasn't wanting to drive, so he drove my car most of the time for me. Shh, don't tell the rental insurance agent.
Yeah, but it's all okay. So, but yeah, it was an amazing week. I have some pictures if you want me to bring anything up in particular. If you can be like, can you bring up this picture of that picture?
Millie.
Just Millie?
Millie the cat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, let me see if I have Millie skating, because this was a Black Azure mansion, we decided. So let me see if I can find Millie. But I don't know, this one's entertaining. Let me put this up. This was breakfast on Monday?
Yes, Monday.
Yeah. So some of us were there. I think, Leigh, you'd been there about 20 minutes or something at this stage.
Well, I got in at 2:30 in the morning. So I think maybe 6 hours.
Yes.
At this time.
Yeah, that was it. I think I'd only seen you for about 20 minutes, but you'd gotten in very early in the morning. I remember that. So, and then there was... Let me have a look. Why do we call it Black Azure Mansion? That's because there were 9 bees on the kitchen ceiling.
Also, there were 13 of us.
There were photorealistic bees painted on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And then the all of the decor and how the coasters had bees on them, the towels had bees on them. It was,
There were also 13 of us participating.
This is true. Yeah.
Right.
13 Forsaken descended on.
Yeah.
And then the Lights Work podcast got us all goodie bags.
Yes, and I actually have mine here.
There's t-shirts.
So we got in our nice little goodie bags. We got a handwritten note for each of us from Grayson and us, which of course made you want to cry.
Yeah.
And then
true to standard.
We got buttons. So Mirror World Innkeeper.
Yeah, those were for the folks who participated in the video that we made for the Dusty Wheel. All the different Mirror World Innkeepers, like Brian, the bootlicker.
Yeah.
Oh, Millie.
This is Millie. I found Millie, by the way. So there we go.
Yeah. So Millie, just after breakfast, a couple of us were sitting on the porch. So it was a very Southern style house. Had the side porch that went down, a huge porch, went down the whole side of the house. And she just literally walked up to us and tried to get into the house. And she did get into the house at one point.
She did get in the house, yeah.
But she has a QR code on her collar. Words hard. I was going to say leash. I knew that was wrong.
Words are hard. Yeah.
But I believe it was Nils. Went and looked it up, and her name was Millie. And it was like, I'm friendly. Just like throw me out of the house, and I'll find my way home. So please don't call the Humane Society.
Yeah. It's very, very sweet.
That's just crazy. There were a lot of little coincidences like that throughout the weekend.
There was so many.
Yeah.
So, look at that beautiful sticker. So, yeah, it was wonderful. So Monday was kind of a chill day, generally, and then we went off to. There's an actual picture of it. This is one of the other coincidences. Here we go. We went to the Daniel Library.
This is at the Citadel College, which is a military university in South Carolina, and is actually where Robert Jordan went to college. He was an alumni of the Citadel.
Yeah, a engineering student.
Correct.
And that is where Michael Livingston is a professor.
Yes. Yeah. Michael Livingston's been teaching there for 16 years, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, you are president of the fan club, so...
True.
You know.
We assume you know all the trivia.
All the trivia.
And he gave a lecture. Let me see if I can find pictures of that, because these are a little out of sequence, kind of just as people added them. I don't know if we've actually got pictures of the lecture.
Omar had some good ones from the lecture. They should be in there.
Yeah. And the lecture was recorded. Critter has it on her YouTube page. The whole thing, plus an interview with Rob.
Yes, I recorded it also. I'm going to make it more like into little fun snippets rather than a whole long video, because Michael spoke for well over an hour, and because he's just that damn entertaining. You see us all there just chilling out. This was, I believe this moment was when he realized that many people were watching live on YouTube, and he's like, this is a lecture in a university, like what's going on?
Yeah, he was like, people are watching this live? And then he just got really embarrassed. It was great.
It was adorable.
It was very adorable. And then afterwards, he took us somewhere, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Who would like to explain where he took us?
I think the president of the fan club should.
I was thinking that too.
All right. Okay. So he took us to a strange building, and then abducted us into a stairwell, and forced to do a forced march up the stairs into what appears to be a small room containing, I don't know, various curiosities. Now this was his office at the Citadel, and the desk right there is actually Robert Jordan's desk. It's the desk that Robert Jordan had at his house, and that he wrote on. He wrote the Wheel of Time on that desk. And what you're seeing right there is the saber-toothed tiger skull that Robert Jordan had, and that is actually described in the books. I believe it's in the Panarch's Palace in Panchico. And he had that sitting in there. And that's Livingston's collection of Robert Jordan books. That's the president of the fan club and some weird guy in the back.
Trying to play with the fan club pin.
What was that?
Messing around with the fan club pin.
Yeah, he's putting it up on the...
Yeah, he put the fan club thing on there. He gave me a copy of the Battle of Cressy case book. This is one of his history books is all about the Battle of Cressy, and then this book here is basically more details about all the footnotes. So all the footnotes are in a separate book that's 3 times bigger than the actual book that he published. So I got a copy of that. I was really excited. That was fun.
And then after multiple pictures, we all took turns. He was like, any more pictures? And I remember I turned to Ernest and I was just like, I want to ask if I can sit in the chair. And then Critter asked before I could be like, actually, can we do this? Which was great because I was also going to do it. And then we all took turns sitting in the chair. You see, I'm just scrolling through now. So there's Joe.
There's Joe, yeah. I took those pictures and I just kept doing it. Oh, this was your bathroom, I believe, at the mansion.
Yeah, this is the bathroom that
This is why it's called the Dark Friend Mansion.
Yeah. This was on the Sunday night, and Brian's like, I don't think this house is built for tall people. So I did tell you they were a little out of sequence, folks.
That was an HGTV nightmare right there.
It was entertaining, I'll tell you that. So
great.
But yeah, it was pretty awesome, pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And he talked with us for quite a while afterwards, just kind of hanging out, and invited us back the next morning to see the White Tower, what he believes the White Tower is based off of in the daylight. Which of course we didn't do. Like we got a little busy the next day.
We got a little busy, so it was very, very cool. I'm just trying to see what other pictures there are.
Yes, Glenn, it is the Crisis, the Battle of Five Kings. That's correct. It looks like this.
There we go.
And Michael actually tweeted earlier this week, tagging Twitter of Time, because someone had said the book was very readable. It was someone who was not like a history person. And Michael implied that he wants us to read that book. Because
it's really good. I also read this one, which is 1066, A Guide to the Battles and the Campaigns with Livingston and a guy named Kelly DeVries. Kelly was also at the book signings, and I got to talk to him for a little bit. This one is about the Battle of Hastings. And if you don't know Michael Livingston outside of the Wheel of Time stuff, his claim to fame is reconstructing battles around the world. And typically in the UK, but also around the world. He's working on one about the Battle of Thermopylae right now, which is where 300, the movie 300 took place. And in 1066, he basically proves that the Battle of Hastings did not occur where historians have thought that it occurred. And there's a lot of detail in here. But my favorite story in here is about, it's not the Battle of Hastings, but it's a different battle. And the English were at war with the French, and the English thought that the French were really far away, so they decided to take the day off, and a whole bunch of soldiers went down to a river to swim and bathe. And then the French showed up, and so all the British were like naked in the river and had to run back and get their weapons. And the French are attacking, and a Viking, a Danish, basically a Danish Viking or Norwegian Viking, was fighting with the English, and there's a little bridge that crossed the river, and he single-handedly held off like 40 Frenchmen with a sword, like something out of a movie. And the way that they killed the guy was the Frenchman went underneath the bridge and stabbed the sword up and stabbed him in the balls until he died.
Oh,
wow.
That's nice.
Didn't see that coming, did you? No, it's a crazy story. It's a crazy story. And I was talking to both Kelly and Livingston about this, and they more or less said it's a little hard to believe that that's what happened. But if they threw that out, they would not have. They would have to throw out all the primary sources about that battle, because the guy who wrote about the battle in the first place included the snippet about the Viking. So, got to keep it all. Anyway, interesting stuff. You should read his history books. If you're a history fan, there's like 5 or 6 of them. They're really good. There's pictures, and there's stories about
amazing.
Crazy Vikings. It's nuts. It's really good.
I don't think there's anything more for Daily Vale aside from one quick, just
breaking news.
A breaking news piece. So that Kev has just dropped for us. Exclusive Foldy scoop, folks. The Elaine clip from Kevazon Studios is coming tomorrow. So make sure you're watching out for that on Twitter, folks, because that is going to be...
This is the type of amazing, classy reporting that we bring to you.
Yes, exactly. So so that's the end of the Daily Vale. I think we can transition over now to the nice music. So we talked a little bit about OgierCon, but there's obviously more to talk about, so we'll do some more diving on that afterwards. But Bain&Chiad, Leigh-A, we have a guest.
We do.
What do we do when we have a guest? Stabby stab them.
Stab them.
So, Brian, are you ready to... Here we go. Time to fear the spear, Brian. How you feeling?
Nervous.
Nervous? Good. You
That's a
should
good
be.
answer.
Apparently not nervous enough to keep you from dancing.
I'm so nervous right now, folks. Yeah, I love that.
Maybe isn't it?
Well, Bain&Chiad, you don't need to be nervous. You can dance. We can dance. So we're not nervous.
Yes, definitely.
So. And Pavara has thrown out the old tongue for anyone interested. What was an old tongue is... Doobie? Hoobie?
Doobie.
Doobie.
Interesting.
Ryan and Omen, the Viking was named Vasect. They named the vasectomy after him.
Oh my god.
Oh god, you guys are killing me with the balls jokes.
That's so
This
good.
is wonderful.
That is
I
stunning.
needed to know all this.
Yes.
Really.
Okay, Brian has said it's Fear the Spare Time. So, first off, we always get our guests to start with telling us their name, society, and clan.
Of what? Of me?
Yes,
Of you.
you are the guest.
And it doesn't come from the Threefold Land, like
Yeah, you could.
It can be anything.
You're from Theory Land, so.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. Yeah, I'm Brian, the Gleeman, of the Theoryland clan, and the Society of Gleeman, I guess. I don't. That's a good job, right?
Always
Society of
Off
Nerds.
to a great start.
Yeah.
The Nerd Society.
The Nerd Society. Okay, right. Yeah, cool.
I believe
Lovely. Right. Well, then, as we like to start, we've done that. So let's spin and pull out your questions, sir. What are we going to start with? Bain&Chiad, you get to start with question 11. Okay.
Ooh, okay. Other than the Threefold Land, obviously, where else in the Wheel of Time would you like to live?
I would pick Ibudar. I just think that the culture is very. It feels like a culture that I would enjoy, with lots of it's by the water, and there's palaces and old buildings and lots of crazy things to do, and there's dangerous parts of town you can get stabbed in if you're not careful. Seems like a fun place to go on adventures, you know.
I like it. I was concerned that it's near the water thing, but then you can go get stabbed, so you're redeemed.
All the women have knives on their person at all times. I approve of this culture.
Yeah, and I mean, I wasn't gonna go there, but yes, there's knives and boobs. So,
her eyes were so large.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Good start. All right, Leigh-A, you're up. You get question number 5. Okay, question 5.
If you could pick one, what Wheel of Time character would you take with you to guard your back on a raid against another clan?
I would probably pick. I think there's an obvious answer, and then there's the one that I would pick. The obvious answer, I think, would be Gaul, because he's just a badass and is loyal and all that stuff. But my personal answer, I think I would pick Talmans, because I just think he's hilarious and funny, and he's loyal, and he's kind of an understated sidekick kind of guy. So
Killer of
he's
Murjol.
the one I would pick.
Killer of Murjol. Yeah, badass.
Yeah.
Frenzy's.
I did think of Melindhra, Mary. I did think of Melindhra, but I would do other things with Melindhra.
I mean, that doesn't mean you can't take her on a raid with you. Like, you could raid another clan and then raid each other. So, you know.
Yeah.
Do one type of stabbing and then a different type of stabbing.
Yeah, there's a different stab with Melindhra. That's right.
There we go. This is true. So, okay, cool. Not a bad answer. Right, my turn for a question. So. Question 10. Okay. Question 10. Brian, who is the wisest wise one in your life?
I would have to go with Teresa. Yeah, my wife. She's super wise.
Is she right there?
Yeah. I mean, no.
Is she to one side watching you right now?
Yeah, there's a knife and everything.
We like Teresa.
We love Teresa.
We'll give her a fear of the spear.
She's not actually right there. But yeah, no, she.
Maybe disappoint us.
Yeah, I would go with her. I mean, she's the kind of person that I tell a lot of my ideas to, and gives a lot of advice back, and is generally just a very smart, wise person. And yeah, it's kind of cheesy, but.
Can I also brag on you guys a little bit?
Yeah.
So, like, I already mentioned that Brian drove for me most of the time, because again, Usquai. But then Teresa was navigating, and their communication was so good. I was like, this is why they're an amazing couple. Because sometimes like you see that couple, you're just like, oh dear God, please don't ever drive and give directions and all that. That was not the case at all. It was just like so delightful, because they're just like chit-chatting and be like, okay, in a little bit you're gonna turn left and here it is.
Nice. Okay, before we do the Gleeman specific questions, Twitter, you've been watching a bit longer than usual, so it's time to say goodbye to you folks. So goodbye, Twitter. If you want to join us here and hear the rest of these questions, you have to come to YouTube chats, where you must like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as a penance for not being here earlier and only watching on Twitter, you have to hit the bell as well. Just saying. So, all right, bye, Twitter. And we will now move on to the specific Gleeman questions. And I believe that this is Leigh, you're up first, aren't you?
Sure.
Yes. All right. So here we go.
All right. Please explain why you're the Michael Livingston originalist.
I think my credentials speak for themselves. No, in 2012, I went to. Actually didn't go to that OgierCon that year, but Michael Livingston was the guest of honor at OgierCon 2011, 2012. And so I decided to look him up, and he wrote a book called Shards of Heaven by Michael Livingston. And I was like, well, this seems interesting. It's basically history, magic set in ancient Rome. And I love Roman history. I love Rome. I love this whole idea. And so I read it, and I thought it was fantastic. And so, yeah, I just thought it was great. And so then I read that one, and then I got the second one, and I got the third one, and I got all of them, and I read them, and I thought they were wonderful. And so I was really kind of baffled that most people didn't know who Michael Livingston was, especially people who had been to OgierCon and in the community. And so I talked. I would just constantly hype them up on Twitter whenever I saw like people say, I'm looking for a good book, I would say, well, about Michael Livingston, about Shards of Heaven. It's really good. And people on Twitter at time and things like that would also ask for recommendations, and I would recommend it a lot. And he actually retweeted me one time and said, I don't pay him. I don't pay this guy, I swear. And I laughed at it, and he sent me a message and said, would you like a signed copy of Shards of Heaven? And so he mailed me a copy. And then that was the first time we communicated, and we've kind of been in touch ever since. And then in 2019-2020, we had him on Barside Chats to talk about his Shards of Heaven books and his Audible original series, Seaborn, and then some of his history books as well. Mostly I wanted to talk to him on the podcast to pimp his books to everybody, but also like he's a really fun guy. He's a really like interesting person to talk to. He knows a lot about history and he's a Wheel of Time fan, and he's it's always fun to talk to people that are really passionate about the Wheel of Time and talk about the other things that they're passionate about, and because we all have something in common and we just immediately connect. So I think Michael Lewis is great, and he's lived up to all the expectations of that I've had, and quite a fun thing about Shards of Heaven. If you've ever seen that TV show Rome on HBO,
love that show.
The two of the main characters, Uranus and Polo, are the two main characters in the Shards of Heaven series, and Livingston had been hoping that HBO would pick up the show, or somebody would pick up the show, and they could cast the same characters, the same two actors in the show. So that's a fun fact about Shards of Heaven. Really good stuff.
Wiseman Shelley's in chat, by the way, folks. So go say hey to that.
Hey, Shelley.
That's a pretty good reason to explain why you are the Michael Livingston originalist.
And I knew him before he was cool. I was a fan before this whole I'm doing the Origins of the Wheel of Time thing.
Yeah.
I was telling somebody recently that it's funny how everybody's excited about something that I've been excited about for a long time. And
you're like, I was so cool before you guys.
I'm a Livingston hipster,
Livingston hipster. I love that. All right, with your next question, sir. We hear you know a plethora of random facts. Can you tell us one off the top of your head, please?
I can. Any particular topic you want to hear about, or something random?
Something to do with Rome.
With Rome. So in Rome, they didn't have toilet paper in Rome, so but they did have public bathrooms, and so when you went to the bathroom, there would be a 20 or 30, a bench with 20 or 30 holes in them, and you just poop into the hole. And then there would be a communal bucket, and inside the bucket is a stick with a sponge on it, and you'd use that to wipe your butt. And then you'd walk off, and then somebody else would get back in there, swirl it around to clean it off, and then somebody else would use it to wipe their butt. And that's a random fact about that. Pretty good. There's another.
No, things I did not need to know.
They all died of infectious disease.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I think it's time to move on to the next question.
Yes.
The next two come from Bain&Chiad. So your first one, Bain&Chiad.
Yes. Other than butt rock, what other fossilized body parts from a previous age exist in the Wheel of Time?
That's a good question.
And just to point out why you think that, Anas in chat just asked for a butt rock cleanser after that discussion about how Romans cleaned their butts. I don't think I need to put a butt on screen when we talk about how they clean their butts. So
talking about butts and
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that we talk enough about the twin mounds of Shara. They are, you look off into the sunset, perfect silhouette, two mounds, and it's in the depths of winter. Sometimes the tree on the top of each one that gets covered in snow, and just it's like a little that's great. The pits of Shara. Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
Nice.
We'll have to look for that.
We will have to look for the pits of Shara. I like that. So, okay. And then your final Fear the Spear question. Are you ready, Grace?
I am totally ready. Brian.
All right. Serious stuff now, Brian.
Very serious question.
Okay.
What did lettuce ever do to you?
Just let us to do.
Would it not leave
You know what?
alone?
I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer. Let us can fuck right off. And never come back.
Did it not leave you alone?
Who hurt you, Brian?
No. I don't know. I have a theory, and it goes back to like, you know, tell me about your childhood, you know, kind of thing that therapist does. There's a movie that came out in the 90s called Problem Child, and had a sequel called Problem Child 2. And in Problem Child 2, the father gets remarried to is dating a woman, and the problem child does not like her, and so they pull a prank on her she makes a salad for dinner, and then they pull a prank by releasing a bunch of cockroaches into the salad. And then while they're sitting there eating dinner, the woman's like smiling and my dinner wonderful, and like eats a roach in the salad. It was really disgusting. I think I was just really susceptible at a young age to horrible things like that, and it just grossed me out, and I never wanted lettuce after that. I was as a child, I was a really picky eater. I didn't eat basically hot dogs and hamburgers and spaghetti, and that's it. It wasn't until college when I realized that free food is good that I kind of opened my palate up again. But lettuce, I could never get back into it. It makes me want to barf. Sorry, I just can't do lettuce.
Well, chat loves you, Brian, so you're not doing too bad.
You should.
Apparently a lot of lettuce haters out there.
Yeah, although there's a lettuce lover in chat, and that is Kevin Angus. He loves lettuce. It's loves a good head.
It was cabbage, by the way, Kevin.
Of lettuce.
The head of cabbage.
Kev, the other Kev asked, "Why don't you like lettuce? Just cause?
Yeah.
Just cause?"
I got it.
Yeah, nice. Anyway, that is your Fear the Spear. Ladies, do you think you passed?
I don't
Barely.
think I've ever been so
Barely.
grossed out during a Fear the Spear, which is saying something. So yeah,
Well, let's end the previous poll.
I'll give it to you.
83% of chat says they are now going to go and read Shards of Heaven.
Great.
Nice.
Which is awesome. Did Brian pass Fear the Spear? There we go. We will ask chat. But yeah, that's that. So, trauma. I get it. Trauma can remain around for some time. Oh, fuck, I love you, Shelly, so much.
That's just the tip of the iceberg on these puns, you know?
Well done, sir.
But look, I get it. It's a wedge issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. This is very true. So
a dressing down here on the show.
Did Brian pass Fear the Lettuce?
No, he didn't pass that one.
We should have made it Fear the Lettuce for an episode, but never mind. That's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
That'll be one of the Mirror Worlds.
Mhm.
That's a Mirror World episode. So right, let's finish off talking about OgierCon and talk about the extra things that happened. So let me bring back the pictures. So after the lecture on Monday night, then Tuesday we took a little tour.
Well, we were told by the chef breakfast was at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Chop.
Breakfast was at 8.
So I went downstairs at like 9:30.
Of course.
That makes me feel so much better because Dana Lou came in and like woke me up with a mimosa. She like brought a mimosa. She's like, "It's time to wake up."
Aww.
That's very
Okay,
sweet.
so you're crawling in bed with me because I'm not waking up. Yeah, we're gonna sip mimosas and chill out in bed. So I think it was like 8:45 by the time I got up in my PJs still.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Well, we the reason we had to have breakfast so early is because we had to be somewhere by 10 o'clock because we were invited, courtesy of Maria, here. Where are you here, Brian?
I am in front of the Great Wall of the Dragon. This is okay. It's the front door. I
was like,
this is the front gate to Harriet's house, which is also Robert Jordan's house. And there's dragons all over the place. And I just had to get a selfie next to the dragon door. I thought it was really neat.
yeah, and then a lot of us did that on the way out because we got inspired. But yeah, we started going around the garden. I need these in sequence. These are all out of sequence. This is let me see if I can get ones that are actually in sequence a little bit, which is probably not going to be the case.
So kind of a little, as you're doing that, like just kind of, so I didn't know about you guys' expectations, but I thought, like I knew Jordan worked at the carriage house behind the main house. So I thought it was just going to be, you know, kind of a nicer version of a shed, essentially. Something like that, you know, like carriage house, like Southern, like, yeah, it was going to be a nicer version of a man cave. So we walk in and there's this lovely manicured front yard, which you can kind of see in that group picture, like the house is set back a little bit. And then there's this side alleyway, which is kind of where we are now. It has a very narrow part of the garden, and there's still a lot more greenery behind that. And I was just assuming that was somebody else's property, that there just wasn't a fence. So, but Maria just keeps leading us back further and further and further. It's like 3 or 4 properties worth of freaking garden, and it's just gorgeous, well manicured. There's all these butterflies around, very interesting little tidbits, like little like dragon things or little statues all around. And then are you on my pictures, Rob? Yeah. Wait, are these my pictures?
I don't know. I'm going through pictures.
Okay, because mine were definitely in order. But anyways, yeah. So you can see like little baubles in the tree. There's part of the sidewalk.
It's a beautiful garden.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
They bought. I think they own the lot next door. So
well, I was about to get to that. So then, as we're walking back and expecting the tour to be done, Maria's like, "So," and she actually said the year, but you know, Maria talks very quietly. So one thing that we were trying to do was like piece together her tour, because we're all just scattered. Only part of us heard the tour at any one time.
Can I just point out Grace's face right
Can you
now?
please not?
It's
not a picture. It's a picture of the butterfly. It's not a picture of me.
I know, but your face is just brilliant there. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of me right now, serious.
But yeah, so in here, whatever it was, the house next door to them was up for sale, and both Jordan and Harriet were just not happy about the concept that somebody might tear down this older house and put up some monstrosity. So what do? With the Wheel of Time money, they buy the property, tear down the house, and create this entire other side. So this is where the pool is. There's this, like, they just basically made the entire thing. The studio right next to it is one of Harriet's friends, who's an artist, rents out as an art studio and just like comes, chills, paints. They put in a koi fish pond. Maria had hilarious stories about like the process they went to not get any like animals to eat the koi fish, which included spreading some sort of.
There was a plant they had growing or something that
there was a plant, but there was also some sort of urine that they got. It's like box urine that they would spread around, and it kept the animals away, but it also kept all the people away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so they just went to. Oh, these are my pictures. Yeah, so this is a little gremlin that was right next to. And this is so that is at the back end of the side property is where the pool is, and then at the front end is just kind of more just more trees, patterns. There's those nice side steps that were in the previous picture that went down into the garden.
It was a stunning garden. I'd say it was like they.
Yeah, that's the street out there. So they've got that part gated up.
I appreciate that the gardener clearly just let things kind of grow as they wanted to.
Yeah.
But also made sure they didn't encroach on like walking space or other plants. So like the rose bush in the first part of the garden, like it was wild, but it was also in a giant frame, so it kind of like kept to itself at the same time. So it's like it was growing in its natural state, but in a space where it didn't stop anything else growing or stop people being able to appreciate it. So it was a really nice balance of things there.
This is where I get obsessed with all the they really are random, because I got obsessed with
the butterflies
for a while. But yeah, so then Maria took us into her office. So it's 2 floors in the stagecoach, like one of the rooms in this whole back stagecoach area. Before they moved into these offices, they rented it to a gentleman who was an artist in New York who painted all the walls. So all of that is just, and apparently that gentleman, I can't remember his name, I don't know if you guys do, he kept changing the art on the walls. He would just continually revise the art on the walls. So this is what was left when he moved out. It's Harriet's collection of Wheel of Time. It's just a whole bunch of interesting knickknacks, just like paintings stacked up against each other, just tools laying around, a whole bunch of fun little details. Like, and just stuff that you hear about, or like you can like place it in the book somehow, you just don't know where it is, or you've heard about it somewhere.
The pinups.
So, Robert Jordan apparently had a vast collection of pinups. This is Maria's favorite that she posted on a wall leading up to her office proper. More dragons. A lot of this stuff, the knickknacks, were donated by fans.
And then we're back to butterflies, but it was just
maybe this is where I got obsessed with the butterflies.
Yeah, you were chasing the butterflies around the garden a little bit.
I was literally chasing the butterflies.
Yeah, and then Harriet popped out to see us. So, which was pretty cool because I mean, Brian, you've met Harriet before.
I've met Harriet before several times. Yeah. But it's the first time in maybe 8 or 9 years that I'd seen her. So, yeah, but it was nice. I think she looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And she's getting around so well. The kind podcasters from the Lights Work got her a plant. Her and Maria both a plant to remember OgierCon by.
Yeah. And she asked us where we were all from, and I remember I said, "Oh, I'm from the UK, Manchester," and she's like, "Really?" And then, "You didn't come all the way out here for this, did you?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was a little bit just like, I don't know, she was stunned, but she was quite surprised, I would say, that, I had made that kind of a journey, so, which was very sweet. So, and then she went back inside.
She actually did a nice interview with Critter for about 30 minutes. So I don't know when that's coming out. But yeah, it was fun working on the questions with Critter the night before. It's like not many people actually get to interview Harriet. And like, what do you ask her?
Yeah.
So very interested in that. Other than me like trying to figure out my angles, and I just there's probably a couple of them. Yeah, and then from the street, these are the pictures of the garden. So you can see this is the side property. This is the side property about how far back that side property goes. You can't even see the pool area.
Yeah. So it was very cool. Very, very cool. So
speaking of you being from the UK, we forgot to tell the story about Livingston.
Oh, yes.
That's why you have 2 copies.
This is why I have 2 copies. Okay, so there's 2 copies. This is the standard American one that a lot of you will recognize and have. Okay, so and of course, thanks to Leigh-A went through the queue and Grace picked it up for me. but it's been signed. So with
And Maria did the index.
Maria did the index because the last point in the index is from Maria, so kind of perfect. But then I got this copy as well, and this is the British copy, which is fancier, which I love to say as well. Look,
So much prettier.
We had so many theories about this in the Dark Friend house.
so this I got this on Monday night. Now we all rocked into the lecture. We kind of doubled the numbers that were in there.
Remind them what Monday night was.
On Monday night. So this was the lecture that Michael was giving. It was kind of just like it was like a
Citadel.
approach at the Citadel, the Daniel Library. It's kind of like his process of writing the book. So he talked a lot about Robert Jordan and history of him and how he came to be writing, and then how he the notes were and stuff. It was really, really entertaining and fun. Obviously, Critter put him on TikTok. Omar put him on the What Series Facebook page. I recorded him too. So there's recordings of this out there. Mine will come out as snippets more than whole videos, because I think that's going to be a fun way to do it differently. People can catch different questions, so to speak. Which UK printing? Inkstone or Broken Binding? I actually don't know. After you said that, this must be the Inkstone one. Yeah. Anyway, Michael said, "Where has everyone come from today?" Just to the audience in general. And people started naming places, but initially they, like who's come the furthest? Do we know? Or like, and everyone just kind of just like pointed to me, and I was just there like, the UK, and he's just like, what? He's like, for this?
It was kind of the same question as Harriet had. Is like, did you come all the way for this?
Yeah. I was like, yeah. And he was just like, can anyone beat that? And the closest we got was Seattle. There was someone there from Seattle, who I apologized to afterwards. I was just like, had I not been there, you'd have gotten this book. Because he then said, right, well, you're getting this book. I'm going to sign it for you now. Or at the end. And at the end of it, when he finished, and we all got up to see the notes that he had laid on the desk that you cannot see in the video, that we were expressly told no photography. He didn't raise up specifically for that reason. The closest you got was he raised it up like this, so you can see the thickness of one of the pads, and then laid it back down like that, so you couldn't see it on video.
No one blurring here in us.
No one blurring, sorry. But the signing he did, if I flick to it, and this one I did not get extra signed. I wanted this one to stay just as the Michael copy. And oh no, I've opened the wrong book there. Sorry. The problem, too many books. What a shame. He wrote for the man who came from Manchester, and then signed it. So this I would believe.
I also think that page is different.
Really?
Is that page different than the other one?
I don't think so.
Is it?
I mean, I have them right here. Oh, it is.
It looks different.
Yeah.
See? There's just so many random differences in the various versions. And that night he did ask at the library, he did ask the crowd how many versions. He's like, 1. And I think his colleagues might have raised their hand that they got 1 copy.
Yeah.
2, and then at that point people are like, I got the audiobook and the regular, and then 3, 4.
It occurred to me earlier today when I was tweeting. I tweeted a picture of this. So on my journey home, I had to take 3 planes, and I tweeted a picture from the first stop at the airport, and then one from Philly, and then one from sort of like steps on my way home, so to speak. And when I got home, I tweeted a picture of the signing of this book, and I was putting in the alt text, and I've started to have a little bit more fun with alt text recently in pictures on Twitter. I find it quite entertaining, actually. I did a Bruce Almighty one last week, and added a whole description about what the scene is from the movie and why it's entertaining in the movie, let alone entertaining as a meme that I put on for Twitter. And I was writing the alt text for this, and I realized at the time that because it's a British copy, and Michael has only did that signing there and then signed books that to be sold at the bookstore at the same time. They were all American copies that he did. So this is probably the only British copy that has Michael's signature in it.
Yeah.
For now, at least. So I was like, that's kind of like an extra cool little piece of thing. I got the very first ever signed British copy. In fact, next time I see Michael, I'm going to have to get him to add that in, yes. The very first British copy ever signed. But yeah, it's very cool.
So it reminded me of a funny story, like Brian or Bain&Chiad, I don't know if you guys want to tell it because I've been talking a lot, about Michael's observations of Jordan going through the different font phases.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if either one of y'all want to tell the story. Otherwise, I will.
I can't remember. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
You tell it, guys.
I can't remember which paper it was. So he had like maybe 6 or 7 pieces of paper on a table at the lecture that we were not allowed to photograph or video, that were from like
I think it was
the notes that he had
list
access
of names.
Yeah, so he had some lists. He had a list of like songs, a list of like facts, and then he had a list of names, like working with different names that he was going to use in the books. And I guess he was experimenting with different fonts, and Michael went on a whole rant about, I forget the name of it, but there's a font that looks like fire that came out like back in the 90s or 80s, 90s, I guess. 90s. And so he was just like joking about how, you know, Robert Jordan was just going nuts with the font. So yeah, that was the font.
One of them was
story.
a fire text, wasn't it?
Fire. Yeah, I forget the name of it.
Like all the words look like they're on fire.
Yeah.
Like all the letters look like they're on fire. I remember doing that, you know, for like 90s.
Yeah, I remember doing that fun stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We really struggled with the outline that was in Wingdings. That took hours to translate, you know.
Yeah, I imagine so. Honestly, just sort of blown my mind in chat right now. Not only is it the only British copy, that's probably the very first copy ever signed.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Very possibly.
Maybe.
But if he like signed it for his wife or something, I don't know.
I feel like he might have signed other books previously. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure he did. Like, you know, when he like, I know he had some sessions where he signed like stacks and stacks of books.
Yeah.
But it's just his name, right? Mm-hmm. So you may have gotten
the first personalized one,
personalized signed book that was not to Team Jordan.
Yeah. Skeeter and chat love this. My British copy is en route to me. Not sure where I'll get the signature.
So we will be at JordanCon and WatCon this year. So if you're coming,
Catamelon,
you'll be at both of those. So,
Brian, you could probably speak to this, but Catamelon says Fairyland would have loved dissecting Wingdings.
Oh yeah, somebody would have like translated every single character. It would have happened.
That would have been brilliant. Okay, I think that is a good time, folks. I'm going to put together some, you know, like fun snippets from the trip. I'm sure the Lights Work podcast will be putting together.
Well, we didn't talk about the signing at all. I know we're getting a little late, and we got.
Oh shit! Yeah, we should talk about the signing.
We should talk about the signing. Yeah,
we should.
His birthday and everything.
Well, so just to wrap up the middle of the day, our lunch plans fell through because it was just like too difficult for a large group. So Harriet actually gave us a recommendation on a place. Turned out phenomenal. Like,
so good. I'm still thinking about that food.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. I still have the leftovers in my fridge. I can't wait to dig into those. Anyways, then took the obligatory pictures with the Ogier Street Avenue, whatever it is. Signs. Had enough time. We went back to the house, took a nap. Some other people, Brian, went out and got these wonderful mustaches because we learned via Maria that it was Livingston's birthday on Sunday.
No, it was Twitter.
He put it on Twitter Monday night. Twitter. Yeah, it's been amazing, but my birthday yesterday, and then the election today, you know, was so much fun. But an extra special birthday present would be like a really great first sales day of, you know, the Origins that we found out from Matt Twitter that had been his post on Sunday.
So we, Brian and his wife Teresa, and I'm sure I think somebody else went with you guys. I was asleep. I have no idea whom. Went and got these mustaches as well as a card to sign for Livingston. I think we ended up on something silly like, if you wouldn't have this card,
If it weren't for us, you wouldn't have gotten this card. That's
yeah.
for sure.
And then we just all signed it.
I mean, I signed it from the man who signed the card. Because
the Lights Work team went and got him and Maria and Harriet cupcakes. And then we surprised the fuck out of them after they did all the signings. Yeah, so the signing was amazing. We showed up, took up the first 3 rows. They didn't put out enough chairs. Like, we actually helped them put out more chairs because they were just not expecting that many people. A couple of his students were there, some of his colleagues, a couple of people from the Charleston Historical Society. Daniel made an appearance, which was hilarious. Also, Nargalina, which was traumatizing, a baby Narg.
Nargalina will pop up in a second, I promise.
Yeah.
There we go.
When Livingston asks, where did that come from? Maria deadpan looks at him. Well, when a Trolloc mom and a Trolloc dad really love each other. Fucking classic. The questions are great. Rob live streamed it, so if you haven't watched that, if you haven't had a chance to watch that yet, go check it out. There were some really good questions from, it wasn't just us asking questions. Like, people in the crowd had really good questions. Then the book signing happened. Rob continued to live stream, interviewed us.
Thank you.
They got goodie bags.
They got goodie bags from the Lightworks people.
I can look at
go ahead.
Yes, one for you and for
There was little notes for everybody.
Yeah, I almost died when Maria said, "I've been wanting one of those T-shirts." That just made my day.
Yeah.
They are really good T-shirts.
They're very nice.
And Michael did wear his later when he was.
He did.
And I would like to point out that both Maria and Harriet are wearing Livingston Fan Club pins.
Oh yeah,
They are. Yes.
we haven't explained that yet either.
Oh, I made those for WatCon. I made these pins for the Livingston Fan Club WatCon, and if you pre-ordered Origins, I would give you a pin at WatCon. And then Livingston found out about it somehow. Somebody tweeted something, and he was like, "I have to have some pens." So I brought them to Charleston, and I gave a couple to him, one to his wife, gave one to Harriet, and I actually gave Maria hers at WatCon. So that was fun.
Nice. So he was loving this. We sung him happy birthday.
He was
We
so
put
embarrassed.
hats on, so they, in addition to these, they got the cone birthday hats. So we just were like, "Oh shit, now's the time! Put them on!"
Yeah.
And
He was too busy signing books to notice we were all putting the hats on, and so then we started singing. And he looked up. He was super embarrassed. It was great.
He was. It was very cute. He
turned
blushed.
red all the way through. If you didn't know, your scalp will blush along with the rest of your face.
And then he thought everything was done, and then I was like, Michael, if I might, how did I word it? I was like, if you might.
Do you remember that tweet when I?
Yeah, if you humor me for a moment, I was like, do you remember you put the tweet out for the event, and I quote tweeted you and said, well, I guess I gotta quit my job and fly over. Did you remember what you said to me in response? And he's like, no. And I was like, well, you asked me to bring something. And then he just went, no, because he remembers. And I was like, well, yeah. So this is me giving him a bottle of Brecken's Botanicals gin, which comes from Wales in the UK, and something he hadn't had in an extremely, extremely long time. And there's a picture that comes up in a second, I'm sure, where he's just like, I think his face is just uber squee, basically. Where is it? But yeah, there's the gin. Oh wait, there it is.
Yeah, I love that one.
That's such a great picture. I love that face. If that isn't the encapsulation of squee, I don't know what is. So
I know.
And it's just stunning, absolutely stunning.
Havar is asking a really good question.
Oh, did I even pack clothes? My backpack weighed so much. Yeah, folks, it's here. 1 second.
Can confirm.
Yes, can confirm. So I went with just this backpack, and in here was my streaming equipment. So that's the laptop, camera.
Wait, explain, because normally you have a great tech setup.
Yeah, so normally, so I've got like a couple of screens. I've got a camera. I've got the mic, and I'm running on a desktop. I'm on Wi-Fi, on like a landline for the internet, all that sort of stuff. I took Kayla's laptop because mine's almost as old as I am. It feels like some days it's like hamster wheels have more processing power than my laptop. So I took Kayla's laptop. I had the webcam. I had a lapel mic. Bain&Chiad brought her dagger or her spear, sorry, so that I could have like a spear mic, and that was it. And a camera stand that I sat on one of the bookshelves to the side of the siding, and just like peered it down, and
it worked really well.
It worked brilliantly. Well. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. People really enjoyed it, and it was very different. So I had all that in the backpack, and then I had my companion. And I brought some chocolate for Bain&Chiad and clothes for the 5 days or whatever. And the backpack was... I felt like I'd joined the army and was on one of their runs with those weighted backpacks, because it was very heavy. Every time I got to...
Called a force march. It's
a force march. There we go. Thank you. Every time I went through any sort of security, I was like, I'm gonna be a hot second, because I got to pull out the laptop and they want all the electronics out, and then I have to take out, weirdly enough, the circular metal base to the camera stand. If I leave it in the bag, they tend to pull the bag out to one side and be like, what is this? So I always have to take that out. And I was like, oh my god, this is so much work, because I've got like books. And traveling back, I added 2 books. So I had like books on the top, and then a bag of peanut butter pretzels from Trader Joe's, and it was just like, this bag is so full. But Brian was telling us that Michael is a fan of the one bag travel and has a lot of tips. So I will be checking out his website to find all the tips for the appropriate bag to then take travel.
This is why Brian is the president of the Michael Livingston fan club.
It's true.
Yes.
Well, Brian, you were talking about the pens. You made, you didn't just take a stock outline of a face, did you, for those pens?
No, I just made I drew it myself, but I found a stock mustache because I couldn't draw the mustache myself. So it's just like a little stock mustache.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty accurate. I don't have mine on me. Does anybody have one that they could,
Not with me, but...
I tried to order pens from like a website, and it would be like $300 for 50 pens. Like it was some outrageous amount. So I ordered a button maker from Amazon and printed out all of the things and made my own buttons. I sat in my living room for like 2.5 hours, like just stamping buttons and watching TV.
Well, you literally made them yourself.
I didn't know that. You didn't say that at all this weekend.
Wow.
Still have a few left.
That's incredible.
Oh yeah, hold them up so people can see what they look like.
It's like this.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Beautiful.
So cute. It really is the exact shape of his head.
He's mad at me now because he was going to shave his mustache.
And now
then
I
made these. And
yeah, I mean that. Look at that stash. That's it's a beautiful stash.
It is lovely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to him, like, you can shave it, of course, Michael. It's your stash. You do what you want with it, but you just lose your fan club status.
But then he just needs
to, as in your fan club still exists, but you can't be a member.
Walk around with one of these that looks like his mustache, and then he'll be fine.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, I need to find a stash picture because there was that's got to be in here, right?
Stash picture.
Is there not a picture? Oh, is there not?
Critter has it on her Instagram. You could probably find it there, but I don't think it's on the drive.
Okay.
Yeah. Critter was like amazing. Like, how quickly she posts up shit over the weekend. I was just flabbergasted.
Seeing her in action was like mind blowing. Just
seriously, I wish I had that much energy in my life, and I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
This is very, very true.
So so she's got a couple of fun stuff on her TikTok, on her Instagram. other people have been posting stuff. What series have been posting stuff? Just random people like Brian. You've been posting fun pictures, which Livingston always, of course, because you're the president of his fan club, he's always responding to you. Not jealous at all.
All right, so here, I need to switch screens 1 second. I have an example of the stash picture that I'm talking about, but it's not the actual one. So don't do that. I don't want all the names over everything. How do you get? There we go.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that one's from the library.
Yeah,
Livingston did it himself. He put his own finger on his own. There you go.
Yeah, that's just not working out.
Yeah, so that was in the library. We were. This is a specific thing that helped me with
Display
words.
case.
Display
case.
Thank you for words. That the team Jordan, the Jordan estate, whatever, they sent all the artifacts over, and it's there permanently at the Citadel. So it's pictures of his entire life, just like random, very interesting things. I know Maria was really interested in telling us the story of why the turtle shell was there.
Yeah.
So,
and
but anyway, so Livingston just comes by, and we're about to take a group photo. He's like, "Can I get in?" Like he's like trying. He's like, "Can I be part of the cool club?" He's like, "This is your club."
Yeah, absolutely. And Lawyer's Library makes a good point. The picture taken at the signing where we all did the stash. Maria actually went like that as well. Even though we all had mustaches, we were all doing this, and then Maria goes like that just to add in, sort of thing. So it's like she knew that we had done pictures like that previously, or just decided, hey, I just want to join in, and just thought I'll do the finger as a stash.
Maria's just cool.
She just knew. She was.
Maria's
so cool.
just cool. Yeah. I mean,
so it was very, very cool. Yeah. There's a lot to it. There'll be pictures put up, I'm sure, around a lot of places. So just keep an eye out, folks. I did a reel on my Instagram with a video of the garden, so you can go check that out. Critter's got some up who's saying there'll be more going up, so don't worry, there will be a lot going. So, but we have a fun, quick game, I believe. 1 second. Actually, Bain&Chiad, do you want to introduce the game while I get this picture? That's just
sure. Well, I don't even really know how to introduce this. Long ago and far away in May of 2022, before WatCon, somehow on the Dusty Wheel WatCon channel, Brian was immortalized into a Brian emoji of his face that he always makes when he takes selfies. Brian, can you give us a demonstration of that face right now? Your selfie face? Yeah, exactly. That's his face. So, like, for example, here's some examples of how you might use this emoji. So, Livingston opening the bottle of gin here. There's Brian with him. Livingston talking about Knight's Tale as the most historically accurate movie. Brian was clearly there with him. So, we have put Brian emoji faces into several scenes from the Wheel of Time. And your task is to be the first person to find Brian in these scenes from the Wheel of Time. That is our game for tonight.
And
Are you ready for that, Brian? Before we do that, I have the picture of the stash at the signing. So here it is. And as you can see on the left, there is Maria doing the finger.
So cute.
That's a sentence, isn't it?
Maria doing the thing. Yes, I think Jordan would approve of that.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, this is just brilliant. All of us with our stashes. It's such a fun picture. I'm gonna do something with that, I think. But yeah, it's Kev approves of this. Using his own face for reaction images. I'm looking forward to this game because I have not looked at these images in advance, so I can play. Whereas Bain&Chiad made these, so yeah.
Wait, so is this where you told Brian he might want to put on his glasses?
Yes. So you might, if you need to wear glasses to see things close up, you might want to put on glasses so you can, because some of them, they're not all, I mean, these are definitely like life-size Brians in these photos that I showed you before, but
I'm going to put
in
mine
the
on.
scenes, he might be small, he might be in a different angle. He might be
Put
a
mine
different
on as well.
color. Yes. Okay. All right. We ready? And I'm gonna keep score. See who gets it first each time.
Oh,
Oh
Just
boy.
because we'll
Okay.
make it
No
more
pressure.
exciting. No pressure or anything. There's no prize either. Okay. We
Prize
ready?
is pride. Seriously, there
That's
is
right.
always a prize.
Bragging rights. Okay, this one was specifically requested by Melindhra. So here we go, Mel. Here, this one's for you.
I see him.
I
on
see
the left.
it right far back in the left.
I think Rob got it.
Yay!
Well, he said I see it first, but
And then
he
I
said
said
on the left. He did
I
say
said on the left. Yeah.
All right. Okay, ready?
but I yelled louder than he did.
The director.
director.
No, the caption guy. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm gonna give that to Leigh-A.
because I don't know the names of these things.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to know the name of the person.
Oh my god, yeah. That was just so funny.
Nobody's
Dead guy on the right. Dead guy on the left.
Brian
Okay,
is
Leigh-A,
dead
you
on the
got it.
left, yeah. That one just slayed me. That was great.
My boyfriend here, Sky Sex Trollic.
Just for funsies?
No, there we go.
A bird nipple, yes. Brian's face is a bird nipple. That's a squeeful moment.
Okay. Tape puppets.
It's like on the shoulder. That's brilliant. That's so great.
Brian's too busy laughing to answer. I love it. Okay.
Oh my god, in the cart.
Is that a photo bomb again? Or is that someone?
I don't think I heard the actual answer.
On the cart on the left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
The yellow stream of the
yellow
photos.
Or not Rob, Brian. Which one of you fuckers am I talking about?
You're talking about Brian.
Thank you. He's a person.
Okay, you got it, Leigh-A.
I'll allow it.
He's the white cloak on the left. That's so perfect. Look at that. That
I was
face.
wondering, like, is that a named character? I was trying to be like, is that
That
one?
face fits in
No.
there so well. Oh.
Oh no! I'm
Oh
on
my god,
fire.
he's getting burned in the fire.
Oh,
Oh
Brian,
my god,
you got
yes,
that
he
one.
is. Yes. He's hanging from the top in the knickknacks. That's great. Yeah, Shelly is right. This game is great.
It's good to know we can do variations on it in the future, I'm sure.
On the right. On the right.
This is the Life of Brian remake is wild. The White Cloak one has Loyal's Library and Stitches. Brian fits in all of these roles.
I'm a Gleeman. I can do anything.
This is true.
That's
yeah.
It's so true. Oh, on the belt.
Yep.
I'm the third wheel.
Oh, Leia's catching up to you, Rob.
Okay.
Yes, you are the third wheel.
Third wheeling. Over the top of the shoulder to the right, Matt.
Above, yeah.
Oh,
That,
God.
yeah.
I don't know who he's above.
I think Rob got that one.
There's only 2 left.
Ooh. Oh, yes.
Oh my god, in the cleavage. Oh my god. Wait, can we just bring Brian up for a second? Put the photo down just by itself. Brian was slaying.
I love
Brian,
it. I love that last one.
Brian
That
was
good.
just like that, dying with laughter about it because it was just freaking like that. There we go. Yeah, you got to send that one in particular. I think even Teresa's going to die of laughter at that one. I think she's going to think that's perfect.
Oh, I think Teresa would appreciate that.
All right, this is the last one.
Yeah, I should die in the back.
Yeah.
Oh no, is that like a horse's ear instead? Actually, he's one of the horse's ears.
No.
It is the
It's
acid. Okay,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
that's still funny.
Down the head. Shelly's now jealous of Brian.
Yeah.
We can do one for you, Shelly.
Oh, Shelly will be the next one we do this.
We can use her raised eyebrow face and put it in various photos.
Oh, that would be brilliant. Yes. This is so
This
fun. Yes. We need to cut out the squee face of Michael with the gin.
Yes.
And spend just 5 minutes at the end of next week's show and play this game with him.
Okay.
Actually, I think we should do it right in the middle, like in the middle of all the serious shit, because it's gonna get serious. Like just randomly throw up a photo, like Fantasy of the Ages, like they did for us.
Yeah, they did it at intervals, and it was actually kind of fun to break up the discussion. Yeah.
Nice. I love that. That was a great game, Bain&Chiad. That was so much fun. Brian, did you ever think your squee face that is now a reaction emoji on Discord would end up being? Yeah,
I had no idea.
I'm glad you liked it.
Something else. You guys are interesting people.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Right.
We're gonna take that as a compliment.
What was that?
I will. I'll take it as a compliment.
Take it as a compliment. I think maybe.
I feel like I need to show the blood snow one more time just for honest, because he said it broke him.
Yeah. It is so good. That's just brilliant. I love it. So
Brian, you didn't know that you were in Aiel and you were actually in all these scenes, and nobody saw it before. We pointed it out tonight.
Yeah, Gleeman, they know their shit. They get around. So yeah. Oh, Shelly's just given us a perfect idea for next week. That's great. You go look at that in the chat. Anyway, I think that's it for this week, isn't it? We don't have anything else.
Yep, that's it.
I think that's it.
Okay, folks, please remember to come back and join us next week. We have Michael on the show with us. I need to update that picture and put in his squee face instead.
Oh, yeah. We'll be talking the books, right, Rob? So
yes,
full book spoilers.
It will be full book spoilers next week. So you have 1 week to finish reading your Origins of the Wheel of Time. So it's an epic book if you haven't, and if you get an opportunity, listen to the audiobook as well, because Maria does the foreword, Michael does the letter to fans at the beginning, and then I haven't gotten there yet, but at the end there's an interview of Rosamund Pike, which obviously you don't get in the physical copies.
And I'd actually like to put a plug about the spoilers. A lot of the stuff is out there for the most part. Is like, it's not book spoilers. There is one book spoilery thing. We probably won't talk about it. It's already been talked about at ad nauseum. But we just want to interview Michael about the book. So, and he does put a disclaimer in there, like he goes full. We will be discussing the entire series, but this is not new canon. So if you haven't actually read the Origins, like depending on whether you consider Robert Jordan's history spoilers or
I think the way Michael words it is appropriate. You can't talk about the process without talking about the end of that process.
Yeah.
So I think even if we try not to be like specific details from the book itself, it's just going to come up anyway. So
what I was more or less getting to is like the origins. Like, yes, we'll be talking about the details of it. If you haven't read it, would you consider knowing the end of a battle at the Revolutionary War that was a minor Revolutionary War battle? Like, if you don't consider that a spoiler, like that's kind of the types of details of like this was equivalent to so it's not that it's a different type of spoilers.
It's full spoilers for anyway, we'll cross that next week. As Brian's thrown in chat, I was going to say anyway, please go check out the interview that he did with Farside Chats. Brian says it's not too spoilery. Like, what would you class the spoilery level at, Brian?
Well, we talk about some things in the books, but I don't think they're I don't think there are things that you would necessarily like need to read on your own. Like if you heard about it first, you wouldn't be like, oh, I got spoiled by it. It's just like certain chapters and themes that that are talked about in certain sections. And then we talk about 1 or 2 entries in the glossary. And of course we talk about Nakomi toward the end, but Nakomi, we don't actually identify who Nakomi is on the podcast. We just talk about the entry and how Livingston feels about it and how we feel about it. So it's not too spoilery. Like if you haven't finished the Wheel of Time books, potentially don't listen to the podcast, but there are if you haven't finished Origins of the Wheel of Time, I don't think you'll feel like you were spoiled by listening to our podcast. So it's pretty mild, anything that we talk about there. So, awesome. But it's great. It's great. There's a lot of stuff. Like I said, by being blessed to have an advanced copy, we were able to ask questions that nobody else has really asked before. And so if you go listen to our show, you'll hear Livingston talk about things that I haven't heard him talk about with anybody else. And so I think it'll be a eye-opening experience, ear-opening experience for you.
Brilliant. And just as we finished with Brian, I went back to the poll that we asked earlier and never finished. 81% of chat said yes, you survived the spear. So congratulations.
Awesome.
I mean, I died at Blood Snow, so how surviving? How much could I be? Yeah.
This is true. All right, folks, that's it for this week. Come join us next week where we'll be joined by Michael himself. And all of us will be here next week for it. It's going to be epic. Who knows what we'll get up to. The stash game is going to be strong, I'm sure. And I think that's it.
Question.
Yes.
Are we going to be accepting live questions during that show?
Of course we will.
Are we going to be accepting questions for people who can't participate?
Well, maybe we'll do a Twitter poll for that, or a Twitter thread or something like 3 questions in. We'll find a way to do that. So,
I also have a question.
Okay.
Brian, where can people find you and Barside Chats?
Great question. You can find me on the internet. So on Twitter, my handle is Brian the Gleeman, and then the podcast is Barside Chats Pod. On Twitter, we also you can email me and Matt at barsidechatspodcast@gmail.com. Barsidechats.com is our website. It doesn't really have much except links to the podcast. You can check that out. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to it. And we are recently signed up, or I am recently signed up on the darkfriend.social Mastodon server that Hybrid Havoc has created. If you go find, I think it's pinned on my Twitter profile. So if you go on Twitter, you can find my Mastodon stuff, which is weird, but you could do that if you want to. My address is 123 Main Street in San Francisco. Yeah, you can find me.
Nice, love it.
Around.
Brilliant.
I'm on Discord. I'm in like everybody's Discord. Find me on Discord.
Yeah.
We actually have our official Discord is actually on the Dusty Wheel. We have a channel called Barside Chats Podcast in the Dusty Wheels Discord, so you can find us there as well.
It is great. So.
And you will find me in the bookstores buying all of the Michael Livingston books that there are in publication. They will all just be like piled up over and over and over. And it's just...
everyone to read all of his books. So,
yes, definitely.
Like I think in the next several weeks, he's going to see a major boost in sales.
Hopefully,
I hope so.
Fingers crossed. I mean, the hope is that everybody buys all of his books and he gets Origins 2. Wouldn't that be great?
It would be great, indeed. So
that would be awesome.
All right, you have your homework, folks. 2 pieces. A, go read the Origins of the Wheel of Time before next week's episode, and 2, go buy all of Michael's books. So, done. All right. Until next week, folks. Thank you for joining us, Brian. Thank you, Bain&Chiad and Leigh-A. No, it's much appreciated. Thank you. Let me get my stash back off. Thank you, Bain&Chiad and Leigh-A, for joining me after our busy week away. And thank you for joining us in chat, folks. And if you have questions for next week, you can pop them into the comment section of this video if you're not watching live. And I will track back before next week and grab them out there. And then we'll do something on Twitter as well. So, but until then, folks, may you always find love, water, and shade. Bye.
Bye.